had red interior in my Mini, that's about it.
Yeah, but that's because the Mini was trying to be cool.
It was cool. It was very cool.
Hello and welcome to the first Backroads video podcast. Does that still count as a podcast?
I think the VODCast is a word for them these days.
There you go. So I'm Liam. You can find me at Liam D. Freeman on Twitter and Instagram, and you can find Jared at...
You've completely ruined our usual podcast intro.
All right, I'll do it again.
We're keeping this going. I'm Jared. Find me at Jared Drives on Twitter and Instagram. I'm just very confused because we don't do it this way normally.
Yeah.
It's all out of order.
It is very much out
Very
of order.
wibbly wobbly.
It's because...
As is this table that my microphone's on, so I need to try not to hit it.
Mainly because this is the first time we've even tried to do something live. As you can see by our very fancy live on air sign that we've got, which is completely off center to the rest of the shot. We're still trying to work out. We're still trying.
God, it is, isn't it?
It's like completely off
dear.
center. We're still trying to work out how to use our new studio space, which is kind of a big talking point of this podcast. Is that we're here, we have a new space. It's very shiny. It's got pretty lights everywhere, which are completely irrelevant and don't do much, but. It's very pretty, and we like them. So this is going to be our new studio space. You've probably already seen it in the first couple of Project 944 videos at this point. Pretty much everything we're going to be doing going forward, well, majority at least, is going to be in here. So we've got our own little space.
Yeah.
Should we, not in this video, or this podcast, whatever you want to call it, vodcast, should we, at some point, do a little tour?
Yeah, I think once we've sorted this out properly, as probably visible by the toolbox there, the engine that's just sat there, but which is slight decoration, really. To be fair, that's all it's ever been.
It's all it's ever been.
Yeah, it needs a bit of sprucing up, but I think once we've got it to a point, like there is a tool grid behind the camera. It needs a bit of tightening up before it's fully ready as a studio.
Yeah,
but it's getting there. And yeah, so we'll do a little tour.
I agree. I think considering that we've, I've basically super TLDR. I moved house and this has come with the house, fortunately. So we've got a double garage that we're converting into sort of a studio / modern workshop space. And then you can probably see that there's a staircase here. So upstairs, there's a studio for editing and my PC and that kind of stuff, which is really cool. It's quite nice. It stays nice and warm and cozy up there. And then down here, we're kind of using as a studio space. So it's not ready, like complete. You'll see that probably in the top, you can just about see it in shot that some bits are painted, some bits aren't. It's all quite 70s originally. So
Very 70s.
Yeah, I painted all the walls white, and that took ages. I think that took a month in itself to do.
There's a lot of magnolia in the home.
There's
magnolia? No, what's the colour?
Cream,
magnolia,
beige,
magnolia.
There's sort of like a light brown somewhere as well.
Just 70s.
Very
70s English homes. For anyone who is watching isn't from England. It's lots of beige. And to be fair, that's
Artex walls, Artex ceilings.
Our food still looks beige, to be fair. We've not moved past that.
We've not moved forward since the 1940s.
Carrots and peas is the most colour this country gets.
So it's great to have a new studio space. It means we can do stuff like this. We'd never really would have been able to do this before. This is going to be very much a learning game. I imagine that as the podcasts go forward, they will get better and more improved. Because right now, it's literally what looks prettiest in a space that doesn't look particularly pretty. This kind of table is pretty rough at the moment. But eventually, it all looks snazzy. It's going to be a long time because if people weren't aware, DIY is expensive.
Yeah.
It's really expensive.
Cars and DIY, all very expensive. And it's
really,
a combined
really
hobby at this point. Well, not hobby. DIY is a necessity more so, but... Yes.
It's quite bizarre because, I think in paint alone, I've done about £200 in here. 200. That is including upstairs.
He's gone for the essentials, though, like the neon lights and the live sign to keep within budget.
To keep within budget. It was on sale.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So there you go.
Everything's always on sale, Liam.
Yeah, but I'm a sucker for that. I work in marketing and I still get suckered into it. It's awful.
You're the worst I know for it. Oh, I've got to buy these Brembo discs. They're Brembo discs. Liam, there's 2 places that make the discs. They're all the same. No, they're Brembo. We have to get them.
But now I can say I've got Brembo discs. See, this is what it's all
Everyone's
about.
got Brembo discs, Liam.
Yeah, it's true. Oh, well.
Or Padgett.
What's
the difference?
Both are as good as each other. So awesome to have this space available. It actually feels really cool doing a podcast live for a change. Although I suppose
I'm very fidgety. It exposes me.
It does expose
quite
you.
Deeply.
If you haven't already listened to our previous or existing podcast, you can do link in the description below. That's mostly every Wednesday. We do sort of ramblings and that kind of stuff. But the good thing is that because the majority of you aren't regular listeners of that podcast, we can talk about topics that we regularly cover on the normal podcast that you would have never heard before. Sorry to everyone that does watch the normal podcast. It's basically business as usual. So I think I want to start off with big news is we relaunched the channel in early November. So snazzy new logo, snazzy new branding, new way of shooting videos, a bit more fun, less serious, more fun and entertaining. What would you say has been the biggest improvement thus far, and what are you most looking forward to us doing?
I like the branding the most so far because where I joined TBR into its journey and didn't start with it, I've always liked the pizza box. Although I used to call it the junction box. I don't know where I ever got that from.
I called it pizza box because of its Domino's logo.
It's a box.
Yeah.
Also, I suppose it's a fair point.
Yeah.
I always like the logo, but it's a bit restrictive. And when we started making the stickers, I was a bit like,
it just didn't work.
It's problematic.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited for that because then I've always wanted to try design like hoodies and stuff like that for us because obviously I wear hoodies frequently,
all the time,
constantly. Liam's far more smart than I am. I am hoodies, jeans constantly, if I can get away with it. So I'm excited for that because we can start trying to make some cool stuff. The logo is a bit more adaptable and a bit easier to work with for any kind of design-wise stuff. That's been my favourite improvement so far. But in terms of the future, I think we've got more scope to mess about a bit more. Where I think beforehand, I think everyone could appreciate. We've tried being... I would never say we've been massively serious. There's a few bits we do that are serious, like the reviews and stuff. They've been serious that we've done so far, the E46. And then... MR2 review, which has
just gone out.
Just gone out yesterday for us, whenever this video goes out.
Probably a week's time.
Yeah.
A week's time.
Very recent history. Again, that's more of a serious tone, but those were both filmed. Obviously, E46 went out around the same time. MR2 was filmed in, was it late March, early April? Around that.
Well, some of the shots were filmed on the same day.
Yeah, the actual review itself was filmed a week after the E46 ones because I reshot it because I originally did another review in which I got lost whilst filming it. Because the rule of thumb was I'll just go left and keep going left. But I was quite enjoying the road I was on, so I ignored the first left, and then I had no clue where I was.
He ended up, I think, 10 miles away, and
because they were all like, "Where is he?" And I was just pottering about, absolutely. So I had to pull over mid review and be like, "Where am I going?" and put my sat nav on. I also was having in that first review loads of overheating problems because I didn't put the T-top shade panels in the MR2, and it was very hot. And the GoPro did not like that.
No, it didn't. It kept shutting off.
Yeah, because my car is a greenhouse with the shade panels out. It's melted water bottles before. It's horrendous.
It's not good.
Yeah.
And you've just removed air conditioning.
Yeah, well, I never had it.
You could have made it work.
I could have made my air conditioning work, but and we'll get onto that later, as the MR2 hasn't existed on the channel for a while, and I'm conscious that I don't think anyone actually knows what's happened to it.
Unless you follow the podcast. So therefore, go link in the description.
If you don't follow us on socials or the podcast, which is fair enough, you're allowed to do that. Although you're a horrible human being if you don't. But you're allowed to.
That's a threat.
It's a threat. You won't quite know what's gone on with it because the last video that was filmed on the channel with it was getting its new wheels, and then suddenly it disappeared.
And then it goes back onto its old wheels for the review.
Yeah, then suddenly it's on the road again. England looks quite nice for November.
Yes.
But yeah, so those are the more serious videos we've done. We'll probably keep having a similar tone for the reviews because they are critical in nature, because that is the nature of reviewing stuff. But yeah, we're generally more lighthearted. And we've done plenty of videos where it's you might watch it and go, oh, this is a tutorial, and then you quickly find out it's not, because we don't know what we're doing.
No.
And please never follow us as a tutorial-based channel.
This was actually partly some of the reason that we decided to do a slight rebrand and a refresh, because we found ourselves it was almost like a bit of an identity crisis, because we wanted to do fun, enjoyable, entertaining content while also having quite high production value, which intrinsically kind of the two of them normally don't go side by side. It's very rare that you'll have a super high quality production that is also fun.
Yeah, there's a few creators that do pull it off, but it's rare.
Yeah. So normally you get into the mindset, if it's super high quality, it's got to be serious, or you do it vlog style and it's not so serious. But the problem is that we kind of got in between, that sometimes we forgot that we were filming something one way or the other, and it kind of got a bit messy. So with this new rebrand, you know the video that did it for me? The MR2 engine rebuild. Yeah. That was the video that I went, I like this style more. Because it was informative in the sense of that it was kind of like a walk along. Yeah. But all the way along, because Brad was there, he was the one that actually had the knowledge, whereas the entertainment was the fact that Jared was trying to rebuild an engine. Yeah. Whereas I think what we struggled with in the past is that we tried to do things ourselves and make and had like, oh, we're going to show you how to do this, when that was wrong, because in reality we're idiots. Because
we most of the work that we've done before, we started going, oh, we'll figure out how to do this. We didn't know how to do it before we started. No one had even watched a YouTube video on how to do it. We'd just go, it's bolts, we'll figure it out. Yeah. Then we break something, and then the video doesn't get completed. Yeah, but to be fair, us breaking things is what people tend to like to see. It seems. So
that's kind of it's true. So the majority of the feedback that we got, because we did a little survey on our Discord. If you haven't joined our Discord server, link in the description below. This is basically going to be a plug-in video.
This is just cross-platform promotion for everything.
We did a survey and basically said, what do you like most about TBR? And the majority of the feedback was production quality, with the fact that people saw us breaking things. So that's kind of where we thought, right, we need to rebrand now, because right now the branding felt quite serious. It was more like minimalist style. Whereas I think now, because it's more of a grungy, worn, retro effect, we can get away with being more amusing and more relaxed on camera, which is something that I think was important, because there was times that we were going to shoots that we just couldn't get into the mind frame correctly, because it's got to be serious, and then the personality wasn't coming out correctly. I mean, that was especially true of Mike. So Mike, who does TT content on the channel, one of the things that you'll be seeing...
Can't call him TT Jesus anymore. He's cut his hair.
I know.
He's a TT hipster now. It doesn't
well, that's why it's been renamed to TT Man.
Miss Jesus.
It's not quite as good. But that's one of the things he suffered with, is that Mike actually, as a character, is very, outgoing.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's very fun. Mike. But as soon as you put a camera in front of him, mute.
Which is, to be fair, how I was early days as well. Because it just happens when it's your first one. You get a bit camera shy. But yeah, Mike's problem was, as well, he's the opposite of us, where he has the knowledge, he knows what he's talking about, but then he goes far too serious mode. Yes, let's instruct and teach. Yeah, which is ironic because his partner is a teacher. Yes, but he very much, but he is probably one of the most fun out of the group, and it's trying to get that back out. And we're the same. We've had to try and learn how to do that. I mean, myself especially, I'm quite camera shy anyway, so trying to get your personality out there, or at least when the cameras are rolling, is always the fun bit. So that's where we try and so one thing as well that something had said from the surveys, and people have said it since we've kind of posted pictures and stuff of this space, is people quite like it because it's more grounded. Yes, because beforehand when we had a workshop and a lift and stuff, which is very, very privileged and very like it's very.
We'd have to be like a 500,000, maybe million sub channel to even think of affording.
Yeah, it's an incredible space that we had access to previously for our skill level. We wasted that space in terms of we break jobs and stuff in it. But now we know a bit more, and we're a bit more grounded, both literally and physically. Where we're back to kind of driveway very garage mechanics.
Yeah. That's kind of why I like this space, is because it's big enough and it looks good enough to be quite come across quite well on camera. We can do a lot with the space.
Yeah.
I mean, admittedly, right now it's not as organized as it can be, but that's because it was literally get the walls painted and get going.
He's only lived here for a couple of months, to be fair.
Yeah. So we've got probably 10 in terms of space, a 10-car driveway, which
at a push.
I mean, that's probably a few hatchbacks and a few saloons. Probably not.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, and that's not a usable space.
No.
But that's
so realistically, we've got probably a 3/4 car.
Yeah,
like with space. To move
I mean,
around.
we've got 4 cars parked outside right now.
Yeah, and there's still loads of room.
Yeah.
So we've got actual space to kind of do stuff outside, which you'll see more of in the summer. You won't see it over winter naturally because it's a bit crap at the moment. But in the summer, I can see it really coming into its own, because the idea is that we're going to add, or I'm going to try and buy an awning. So to put out the front, so that when the garage doors are open, I can pull that back and we get more space. So it means that we can technically have half the car in and keep half the car out, and we'll have space and we'll be dry, or it'll be able to defend against the shade, stuff like that. But also out the front is amazing for thumbnails. Like, it's perfect.
His favourite bush.
My favourite bush. My favourite bush. Yeah, no, you'll see that probably on the 944 upgrades video, that bush in the thumbnail is outside the front. So the only problem is that because we generally finish filming towards the end of the day, when you start rolling the cars out for the thumbnail shots, it's
that's the hazard of filming this time of year, because it gets dark at 4 o'clock now.
Yeah,
which is brilliant fun.
Well, earlier than that sometimes.
Yeah, well, I mean, you'll lose light by 4:15. You'll be in darkness. So yeah, that's where the head torches come out.
It is. That's why we've got so much lighting. In fairness, though, we've got these ones turned off so these lights show up more on camera. Because I definitely, though, one thing I want to try is do low light video.
Yeah.
Definitely. Because we've got the perfect space out there. If we get coloured lights, a little fog machine.
No, not the fog
it looks
machine.
so good.
You don't need
but
the fog
imagine
machine.
the mist.
You don't need the fog machine.
But you can colour
I have
the
the
mist.
vape. You don't need the fog machine.
This is true.
I've got the vape. I'm a Subaru owner still. We're qualified. We can do
We are definitely qualified. So that's kind of where we're at with the channel. Obviously, very exciting things coming in the future. Lots of stuff going on behind the scenes. I think we're starting to get into a pace of things now. We do actually have an outlying plan of how we want to do videos. It's just executing that effectively. Because, I mean, for example, today, we were originally going to be shooting 944 lighting upgrade video. And I'd spent 2 weeks basically modifying my tail lights. And right at the end... Whoa! Loud noises.
That's a Yamaha.
It's and
I'll
bike.
pretend.
Yes.
It's a Yamaha. Trust me, I know what I'm on about. Definitely have a bar license. I don't even know if anyone can hear that, to be fair.
I think they probably can. It's quite... You get quite a lot of traffic noise here.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so right at the end, went to seal the lenses, the final part of the entire process of restoring or changing them over. And unfortunately, the plastic has reacted with the sealant and it's clouded the entire lens. So all of that time wasted, and today's video that was originally going to be shot is unfortunately now
on hold.
On hold, yeah. I mean, we've got a couple of options with that. I can either try and redo the lens, but I fear we might be back at square one with that. Or I just, unfortunately, fork out £250 for a pre-made set with a clear lens.
Was that $250 for a pair
of
lights? Okay, that's good. I thought it was one each.
No. So that might be what we have to do, sadly. And at least that way, we know it would look the best it can look.
Yeah.
It's just a shame that... Because before the sealant went on, they looked mint.
Well, this is because of the forum members were very disappointed, and that's why it's gone wrong. Because the 944 forum said that Liam was making his 944 look like a common drap scrap.
Yeah, I know. I bet you were very happy with that.
I couldn't comment. I don't have clear tail lights on my car, Liam.
You don't actually? Yeah.
I couldn't possibly comment.
Yeah.
I'm not a massive fan of them for mine. They're very car dependent for clear tail lights. Some cars look great with them. People who do them on MR2s, I think...
It's very colour dependent.
Need a slap. Well. Yeah.
Very colour dependent.
Yeah, I don't think it would suit my blue. Well, I think it suits my blue, but then when I see like a black MR2 with clear tails, it just looks a bit bright versus the back. But yeah, the 944 Owners Club on Facebook don't like Liam.
There were a lot.
Some don't like Liam.
There were a lot that said that looks really cool because it's not been done. It's very rarely done. You never see it, to be honest. But in fairness, I think that's because the 944 is in a very weird place right now. Yeah. It's got people that wanted them when they were younger, have bought them, and now are keeping them original. You've got the collectors, the like genuine Porsche collectors that won't touch them, and then you've got the people that, like me, that can afford it. Yeah, it's an affordable Porsche. Well, for now. Yeah, it's not for long, but for now. And basically, there's now an aftermarket scene growing for them because, as much as the memes that the RX-7 and the 944 are basically the same car aside the engine, which is technically true. They were rivals and they look identical for the most part. Yeah. I think that there is kind of a scene with the 944 where they're a bit more outlaw-ish, where... Well, that's more of the Euro versus JDM scene, I'd say, with the outlaw concept. Yeah. And then... Because JDM, they are all outlaws. Most modified Jap cars they are considered outlaws society-wise. But then the problem with not the problem. The reason for the outlaw concept for like Porsches, namely Volkswagen, a couple of bits like that, is because a lot of the Euro cars are business. They're quick, they're sensible, they're reliable, etc. They're meant to be stayed as is because they designed it like this, so we'll keep it like this. So we'll keep it this way because the engineers were right, and they probably were. Because most of the time you modify a car, you make it worse slightly, but you might get a bit more serotonin or dopamine in your brain, so it's better for you. But you have probably made the car worse, such as me cutting my air conditioning out, or the possibility of having air conditioning again without a great deal of effort. But I think that's where you get the outlaw contrast where it sticks out more for the Euro scene because the rest of the scene isn't like that at all. Yes, and that's why it pokes out. Yeah, which I think is why there's resistance. There is resistance against it. Yeah, I think that will change over time. Yeah, especially with the 944 because unlike the 911, which I would say that people are coming round to them being modified now. I think they always have been. It seems, to be fair. But there's a few historic ones which are quite popular for being modified. But then again, the modified versions of 911s is the resto mod, which I don't particularly subscribe to myself. Well, there's the resto mod side of it, but there's also the kind of absolute Well, I tell you what, the majority of the modern kind of look for outlaw actually I think has come from Japan. Weirdly, RWB. Yeah, rough raw concept. So, I don't know how you say the German version of it, but I know that's what it means. But I mean, the majority, when you think of the Resto Mod 911s or the modified 911s, the majority of them are very heavily JDM inspired in terms of the lowered look with the BBS wheels, the flared arches, the splitters. Midnight, yeah. Midnight, RWB. The main two I can think of prominent modified 911s. Koenig. Yes, yeah. But actually, no, Koenig is German. Is German, but Dutch, weirdly feels quite Japanese. But I think it's because they do such insane stuff, it fits in there. Yes, is the problem. Yes, I was thinking like the Koenig Testrosses and stuff like that, which are stupid. Yeah, but yeah, that's beside the point. Yeah, I think a lot of the inspiration has come from Japan, where especially it's funny because that's probably the opposite, or sorry, the same situation as the Euro scene is over here is in Japan. Their society as a whole is quite restrictive conformities, and that's why they're so expressive. So that's why then when the Germans do it and they kind of do the outlaw cars, it's actually the exact same concept happening there. Yeah, because they're all uniformed and that kind of... I get what you're saying, yeah. And I think that's something... The thing is, the 944 is the perfect platform for it because it's that coupe style, 80 styling, pop-up headlights, front engine rear-wheel drive. In effect, it is actually perfect for outlaw styling, JDM styling. It's just, I think that because the majority of the aftermarket has been either you go stock or it's... You go stock... There we go. You go stock or you go full race. Yeah. And there's nothing in between. Yeah. So I think that now that they're becoming popular,
The trouble is, I think a lot of it, and I'm feeling this myself before we've even finished the project, but I think a lot of it is you get to that middle ground and you go, but I can take it a bit further still.
it
You get
just becomes a
sucked
race
into
car.
you get sucked into the rabbit holes, and that's becoming very evident. I mean, even with Mike, per example, the reason the TT went off the road originally was for him to replace the cats on it, I think.
Yeah.
And now it has no suspension at all. The interior is mostly stripped. He's just bought a roll cage for it and a short shifter, but it's not a track car; it's a show car.
Well,
but
a
also,
usable show car.
it's a usable show car that's also going to be that would probably be very quick on track. You know, it's got coilovers for it. It's got BBS wheels. And it's just like, right, Mike. It's like, what's the purpose here?
Yes, jack of all
'Cause it
trades,
keeps-
master of none.
It keeps just going down further and further into the rabbit hole, and I think everyone who starts modifying their cars gets to that. I mean, you've gone from like, right, you know, keep a car sound, not going to do anything to it.
What originally?
Or it goes, replace all the shocks, let's say all new badges and stuff. Which, to be fair, that's Liam spec stuff. Doing the badges, that's fine. But then it's like, we'll put the chip over it, and so we'll redo the intake, and then maybe we'll supercharge it, or ITBs, and you get into this rabbit hole because you start going, do that.
Well, I think what happens is that when you first buy the car, you don't want to touch it.
Yeah.
Because you had the
exactly
thing.
yeah.
You don't want to touch it because
my MR2 was too clean to original to touch.
Yeah.
At first,
and then you got a hold of it and it was no longer clean.
No,
so it was okay to touch.
Absolutely.
But I think that's kind of what happens anyway. Is that you buy the car, you don't want to touch it because actually the majority of our cars, even originally the old Project 944, originally,
which is just over there.
It is
behind
it's behind the doors.
No, you can see the door.
Well, both of the 944s.
Yeah, both are out. Let's be fair.
That started off as a very good base. Like there was rust, there was stuff that needed to be sorted, but it wasn't poor. The only reason why the old 944s fell into the state is because it got hit.
Yeah,
that is it.
Yeah. Although to be fair, we would have had the same mechanical issues. I say the same mechanical issues. It's not quite got them yet, but that engine would probably have come up as a potential issue earlier on.
Yes,
because it has a bit of an issue on full throttle, I guess, of lots of blue smoke out the back.
Yeah,
I think it's valve sensitive. I think it's innocent enough.
I think there's two options because doing a little bit of research on the Promax chip that we're going to transfer over, apparently that can make them run a tiny bit rich as well.
Yeah.
So it's probably a mix of valve stem stills and running rich.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's a shame about that car. I don't know what to do with it really. I think I would like to repair it ourselves. I mean, if we can get that panel, if we can get angle grinder and a welder, let's give it a go, right? What's the worst that can happen? But ultimately, even with this new 944, I thought, you know what? No, as much as I love it, and it would be perfect as an original car, because it's so unique. Well, no, let's put it this way. It's not unique to the point in which you wouldn't want to touch it, but it's unique in spec enough that it's very recognizable. Because you don't see that blue, and you don't see that blue interior on them.
To be fair, I feel like 994s, a lot of them are like white or red.
White, red, or black.
Yeah.
And then you
don't see too many black ones.
Oh, you do in the 40s.
I see like silvery grey, white and red quite often. But then, but to be fair, that's just because those are the common colours.
Yeah.
Yes, you are right. You don't see those two colours at least anymore.
No. And you don't see a bold interior like that. If it's going to be bright on the outside, it'll be dull on the inside.
Yeah.
It's like it'll be the cobalt blue and black inside, something like that. It's very rare that you get blue on blue, or someone goes nuts and orders guards red with an ox blood red interior or something like that.
That would be pretty baller.
Stuff like that. Which is a shame because
people in the 80s were far braver.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I had red interior in my Mini, that's about it. Yeah,
but that's because the Mini was trying to be cool.
It was cool. It was very cool.
I just spilled coffee on myself.
Oh,
now
again.
We just found out why that happens.
Not again.
No! There's everything around me that I can use, and yet nothing to hand.
Maybe you can spill it.
I spilled it on there and on here. No, I wet myself.
God.
So yeah, I mean, Project 944, that's going to be a build and a half eventually, and alongside Project MR2. We keep bouncing between Project MR2 and Project Marty.
Well, I have always said MR2. You always say MR2.
That's because I call it by its name.
Yeah, but it's an MR2. He is Marty.
Marty the MR2.
Yeah, but Liam has always been the only person who says Project MR2.
Yeah. I have this a lot, though, where I'll just call things completely different.
But I suppose that's because you don't name your cars.
No.
And I do. Because I'm strange. But I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I've never really named... It's just the 944.
Every car I've had has had a name.
The problem is I now have two 944s.
Yeah, they need I found a bit of cardboard earlier where he was trying to write down instructions for how to jump a car, and he put down the old car as donor car. And then the other one was flat car because the battery was dead on it. But I was reading it, I was like, what is this? I was like, I know what he's doing.
I might actually change the battery over because the battery in the old one's beefier.
I don't know, it's been underwater for a while.
Yeah, it has as well. Literally, that thing is back up to the top.
Oh, don't use that battery. If it's...
I don't think it has been flooded yet, but... Well, I might actually make a drainage hole underneath so that it actually comes out again.
God.
But yeah, no, it's interesting. I think actually that because Project 944, the new series at least, we've covered in quite detail what's going to be happening. You know, the wheels, the suspension, the Coke nose on the front, as we affectionately call it, potential splitter, badging, engine fettling, that kind of stuff. But for those of you that don't follow the podcast regularly, you'll have noticed that the MR2 kind of has had wheels and an engine rebuild video, and then it's come back to being stopped because of the stuff that we filmed earlier in the year.
Yeah.
But would you like to update the ladies and gentlemen on where we're actually at with Project MR2?
So about by the time this goes out 6 months ago, Marty went under the knife. Because we've said engine refresh video, that engine was destined to go somewhere. And so on the Jubilee weekend, which was our kind of...
A while ago,
beginning of June, Jubilee weekend. But I kind of went, right.
Back so when the Queen was alive.
Exactly, yeah. It's a 4-day weekend the Queen has given me to swap my car. And so thus embarked the journey of the actual turbo swap of Marty. It was a bit of an interesting weekend. It started off as like, we're going to come and film it, and then Liam was ill for pretty much all of the weekend, so we didn't really film it. I've got a few bits and stuff of us pulling the engine on my GoPro, but the Thursday and the Friday was myself and my friend Jake destroying the old engine. Really, it involved cutting stuff off because we're impatient, such as suspension strut bolts because someone had put it in the wrong way round, and so we just dremeled it off because we had a spare one. And at 10 o'clock at night with two more of my mates pulling the engine out the bottom of the car on the drive with a pallet and two trolley jacks instead of an engine crane, and using myself to pull the engine out by strapping it to my waist and pulling it out with a rope, which I do have footage of, so one day that will come to light.
That will come to light. Maybe we'll make some YouTube shorts out of that stuff.
It's about 50 shorts there. Yeah, so Marty has got a turbo engine at this point. For the full update of kind of what's happened chronologically, end of that weekend we got the new engine in with the gearbox, etc. About a month or two later, after quite a few evenings of myself trying to do stuff on it, mostly failing, and the MR2 sensei helping, God bless his soul, we got the first start-up of it, which was filmed, and that was great. There was a few problems with it, namely, to be fair, at the time, I think I was definitely missing a few bits I didn't quite need. It started up on mineral oil, which is fine, and it still has that in it, admittedly. And then the injectors were a bit clogged up, so I took the fuel rail off to get the injectors cleaned out, got them all professionally cleaned out, all brand new seals for them. I was actually missing a few seals because Liam noted on the startup that it was leaking out of one of them.
Yeah.
When it was ignition was on, it was primed, but when it was actually running, it was fine. I suppose where it's pulling it through, it doesn't leak. I found it didn't actually have a seal on it at all, which was a bit problematic.
Well, it's a big problem.
Yeah, so that would have been quite fun if I'd ever actually got to drive on that car and it ever had a bit of fuel spill out.
Yeah, on fire very quickly.
Yeah. right next to the wiring loom. Yeah, but then after I got the fuel rail back in and all that done, the car wouldn't start. It turned out the loom was quite damaged, so from probably me manhandling the fuel rail out to get it out and damaging it, so that got sent off to Woodsport to modify the loom, who is the guy who's responsible for pretty much all V6 MR2s in the country. Yeah. Engine swaps. He's put the Audi V8 in a Mark 1 MR2. He's a madman, but he's a lovely guy. So he's modified my engine loom to try work with the chassis of the car better, because I had issues where, like, I lost my heated rear screen, which I can now put back in. Dash was probably not going to work properly. Didn't have a check engine light. I currently have that problem still, so we've got to work that out. But I think that'll be a separate issue, and if not, hopefully I should be able to run a wire direct from that to the light if I have to.
Just have it on the switch.
Yeah, it's very rare that you're chasing a car to give you a check engine light.
I know,
but I don't have one at all on ignition. Nothing. Part of me is like, imagine if the bulb's just gone out.
It's possible,
because I've got to pull. It'd be very surprising, but I've got to pull the gauge out to put a boost gauge in anyway, so I can check it then. But yeah, it has then since started very recently.
Yeah.
For about 20 seconds, I got it going again. It sounded very healthy with all the exhaust on. So
yeah.
That was the problem. Yeah, when we did the first start, I didn't have the exhaust on. It was incredibly loud because it was running off just the downpipe.
Yeah, sounded good though.
It did sound very good. It slightly scared me, I'll be honest. And it sounds quite quiet with the exhaust on now.
It's actually a really nice sounding tone. I think I prefer that.
I've not heard it long enough to properly judge it yet, because it died quite quickly afterwards.
It's very smooth though. That engine is really smooth.
Yeah, for the fact that it was the £1,500 mystery engine, and obviously when we took it apart, we in the refresh video we kind of went, actually this has had a bit of a life,
but it's not terrible.
Yeah, not terrible, but it's missed a few oil services that it needed. It could be worse, and it's not too bad really. So it seems healthy. We didn't get any smoke out of the exhaust on start, which was pretty incredible. Bar an initial puff from like assembly lube and stuff. Really, yeah. So right now we're in the diagnosis stage. We've got the new fuel pump in it. I've cut the air conditioning out now completely because I didn't have the pump or anything in it. So I've gone
because race car.
Yeah, exactly. So a bit of weight saving. Whilst all the underdray was off, I'm going to cut the air conditioning pipes out because don't plan on running it again. The roof of my car comes off if I need a bit of extra cooling, so I'll be fine.
He's going to regret that in summer.
I will, but I won't have the option.
No,
so
you'll just have to deal with it. I'm the same. Mine doesn't work. So
yeah, exactly. So yeah, the MR2 is alive. No, it's alive. It's around still. I've not sold it. I've wanted to many times, but it's yeah, it's an ongoing project. It's very much, we made jokes about it before I even started the project, and the regulars who are on Discord and stuff will be laughing a lot right now. Bit of a skill issue, yeah, I'd say.
Very much a skill issue.
Going from, at the point of starting the engine swap, the only work I'd ever actually done on my own car, because all the work I'd done previously was on his 944 and his E46, was changing my exhaust and an oil change on it. I'd done a couple of bits on it, but I really hadn't done much on it at all. And then I went, you know what?
From exhaust to engine swap.
Yeah, engine swap. Easy. And it technically is swapped. I would classify it now, legally speaking, as a broken MR2 turbo instead of just a broken MR2 NA.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's got the Advans went on the car, and then we had issues with the tyres.
Yeah, the Michelin
blowing
exploded.
Up. Yeah, one of my Pilot Sport 4s blew up within 24 hours of it going on it. So that video was not only the last time the car was on the channel, it was the last time I drove it back in May. So I have been MR2-less for over 6 months.
Yeah, no, a very long time.
Which is very depressing.
Not long.
But
soon, TM.
I'm hoping. I don't want to say anymore. The amount of times I said I'll be done this month.
It might be done in 2022 or 2023, one of the two.
Yeah, I'm hoping to at least be able to roll it around a bit and do some test driving on it by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Because I'm stuck in that last 5% now, I'd say.
It is, yeah. It actually, yeah.
Right now, I need the engine running again because it's got some weird issues where the starter won't fire. I need to get it back on its wheels on the ground, which by the time this video comes out should be done.
Hopefully.
Should be. So that's brake bleeding and stuff like that. I've got bread lines for it now because I might as well whilst I'm doing that work. I'm just praying that I get it going again soon because I've missed it. It's the bad time of year to put it back on the road. It really is, but I've missed the car so much, and I need to get some miles back on it. You know, it hasn't got an MOT right now, so I need to get an MOT on it again.
Yep.
So that's where the MR2's been at, because I appreciate it's not been on the channel at all for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
It still exists. It's still around. It will be back better than ever, I hope, because otherwise it's a lot of time and money I've wasted on
pain, suffering.
Yeah, mostly the pain and suffering. Yeah, so that's where the MR2's at. But I'm hoping, you know, we're back for the new year. You can have both. The new 944 has not met Marty yet.
No.
Old 944 has paid a visit to his old friend and paid his respects to the deceased once or twice.
It's quite amusing that old Project 944 in its current state has still been on the road more.
I'd like to argue that the MR2 was so reliable that I had to break it myself.
Yes, we'll go with that one. Yes.
Because as some family members have said, because obviously they've seen me going through all of it, and you know I've skipped out family sessions because I've got to work on the car. I can't do this. They're like, "Oh, Jared, it was a perfectly working car beforehand. Why did you do this?" And he goes, "The answer is
because race car."
Because race car. Yeah,
it's an interesting one. I think that that kind of what you said there about, you know, apologies for it not being on the channel, is something that we kind of can sum up the entire 2022 really. I think this year has been a bit of an oddball for all of us. I think that, speaking about kind of we've gone into quite a lot of detail with this over on the podcast, but for those of you here who maybe don't follow, you know, there was lots of questions being raised about how we want to run the channel and how we get to where we want to be, and that's why, I mean, there was sometimes 2-3 months without uploads this year. So can only apologize for that. We still did the weekly podcast episodes, but obviously aware that a lot of you aren't subscribed to that. But TLDR, the long and short of it was that I think both of us were feeling like stupidly burnt out.
Yeah.
Because we'd done so well to get the channel where it was in 2021 to 2022, that in 2022 there was just no momentum. Yeah. There was no...
We'd gotten burnt out by that point already, where we were doing it so frequently, so often. For us, at least, with our normal schedules. It just became a bit of a drag. And obviously, you get to the point of kind of later in the year where it's kind of like, right, we're kind of scrambling for ideas of what we can do because we're limited by funds and time. Ultimately, you know, we can't engine swap a car every month, both because one, we don't know how, and two, we don't have the funds all the time for it.
No. I mean, it's the reality of automotive content on YouTube is that you do need money. Yeah. And I mean, it's very fun, I would say. I think it's probably I'd much prefer doing this over than the gaming content that I used to do, for sure. That's not because the gaming content isn't necessarily fun to do. I just think that this is more rewarding. Yeah. It's much more... There's a lot more like scope to do really life-changing things. Yeah,
even with just the fact that like you can go somewhere and there's a community to go to, you know, with stuff like the game content and stuff. So we've debated doing TBR game content a couple of times.
We've tested it.
We have released a gaming video, haven't we?
We did on Forza Horizon. We did
a Horizon 4 video, and no one cared for it, and that was fine. It's an experiment.
That's understandable. Yeah.
But you don't quite have that engagement with a gaming audience versus this, where, you know, it's real. You can see everything. You know, and if you go to the same events as us, or like if you're at the Coffees and Cars meets that we go to quite often, the Tacona Sawbridgeworth meets, it's, you know, you can come see us, you can see the cars, and we can all go, we're all car people, we're all together in this. So there is more rewards to the whole environment of that.
I think as well that the one thing that's kind of woken me up is just how, like, where we've had people now like buy cars because they've seen it on the channel, and that to me is mind blowing. Like, I've had multiple people say, "I bought a 944 because you've got one," or Apologies,
Felix.
Yeah, one of MR2 because of Marty.
Yeah, one of the podcast listeners and a couple. It's a father-son duo, to be fair, who have done it. Have bought an MR2 identical to Marty Beyond the Wheels in Switzerland, and bless them, they were going to come over recently to say hi, but they were like, "Oh, only if Marty's ready."
Yeah, it's not.
But we will get a Swiss Marty and a English Marty meet up. I can't remember what they call it. Oh, it's got a name.
Bob.
It's not Bob. It's got a name. It's not Swiss Marty, but Marty's. I feel like it might be Emmanuel or Emmanuel.
Emmanuel.
Ah,
yes, Emmanuel.
I think it's Emmanuel, but I don't know if Felix will correct me. But yeah, so I want Marty to go meet his Swiss cousin, if we can find any of the unnamed 944s. To be fair, I suppose they're cousins of that 944.
Yes,
the new
technically,
944.
yes, definitely.
Yeah, we need to try to do a little meetup of that. That'd be something that'd be fun to do in the future.
I think that 2023 overall is going to open up a lot of opportunity for that. I think that now that we're on the right track, we're trying to get to a point where we're going to be a fair few videos ahead each week. Mm-hmm. We were for a while, and then things got bad again. Not necessarily with the channel, just life in general. So there's going to be kind of a lot of prep work, I'd imagine, over December, trying to get back on that. The good news is, though, because we now have this space, content technically shouldn't slow down because we've got a place to do it. So unlike before, like a lot of the reason why there wasn't much content on the channel this year was because, unfortunately, we lost access to the workshop. So we didn't have a place to do this. Now we do. So we've got to make use of it, really. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where we're at with things at the moment. Lots of exciting stuff in the future. Anything you kind of want to add on top of this before we start wrapping up this, episode, video?
Yeah, I don't really know how we classify this. It's a podcast. We'll probably release it as the podcast for this week. Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to work that out.
I'll have to start on the edit and work if it's possible or not.
But yeah, no. Thank you for sticking around. If you're not a newcomer, if you're a newcomer to the channel, you've recently found us from new videos. Welcome. Thank you. Yep. Stay with us for this ride. We'll try to figure it out as we go along. But yeah, no, thank you for listening and watching. I usually just say listening, but
it is watching this time as well. Yes. I think just thank you for all of your support as usual, folks. For everyone that likes the videos, comments, subscribes, shares, and for those of you who are also channel members, you make a huge difference. I don't think we can overstate that enough. It really does help, especially with a channel our size. Every like, every comment counts. So thank you so much for all of your support. Great stuff coming in the future. 2023 is going to be fantastic. Really looking forward to what we're going to be doing over the summer. There's big stuff in the works for that. Only other thing I suppose that we should mention is if you want more podcasts, feel free to check out the link in the description below. Come out. I think we're on majority of platforms: Spotify, Apple, Google, probably a couple of others. Us.
As long as it's got an RTS feed.
Yeah, as long as it's got one of those. The Backroads podcast is all you have to search up. I think we should show up. I think that's it, really. If you want to follow us on social media, you can do. You can find me at Liam D. Freeman on Twitter and Instagram, and you can find Jared at
Jared Dries on Twitter and Instagram, and also you're already here on YouTube, but at the Backroads TBR on all other platforms.
Yes. I think that's it.
Yeah, if you want, again, as we said at the beginning of the podcast, if you have anything you want us to talk about for the next podcast, or VODcast, whatever this is,
a thing,
you can leave them in the comments to this one. We'll get to them next time. Any questions at all, or you can DM us on our own socials through the Backroads one if you've got a question for both of us, and we'll get to you, and we'll try and give something back.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you ever so much for watching and listening. Take care. We'll catch you in the next one.